A young boy uploaded a video of himself playing a simple melody on a keyboard. It wasn't complex, just a loop chord progression with some dramatic flair. But the video went viral. Viewers called him a musical genius, the next Mozart, a prodigy for our time. Music blogs picked it up, celebrities shared it, talk shows invited him on. He had no formal training, no understanding of music theory, and had only been playing casually for a few months. But the internet had already decided his followers shot to millions. He was a star. The attention inflated his sense of self-importance. He refused to relate with his friends and the people in his circle as he used to. He began speaking like an expert in interviews, brushing off professional musicians who offered advice. When invited to perform live, he refused to rehearse with sound engineers, saying, "I don't need all that. I play from the soul." He talked and acted like a star, a pro. It was time to reveal himself again to the world, as he says he is. He had to perform live. His first major performance was shaky. His timing was off. He missed keys, and the improvisation that once seemed charming now felt chaotic and unrefined. Music critics were harsh. Fans began to question if he ever had talent to begin with, or if it had all been hype. The same internet turned just as quickly as it once lifted him. Slowly, the spotlight dimmed. The boy, once the internet musical darling, found himself forgotten. Sitting alone at his keyboard, he realized it wasn't the fame that failed him, it was himself. From this story, what actually made this boy fail? His ego. Yes, ego. Now let's look at this story too. A young girl quietly uploaded a video of herself solving a famously difficult logic puzzle in under a minute. No fanfare, no music, just clean, precise solution, delivered with quiet concentration. The video unexpectedly went viral. Viewers were amazed. Genius, they call her. Next level intellect. This girl should be in labs, not classrooms. Scientists shared the clip. Universities reached out. Talk shows sent invitation. Everyone wanted to know, who was this girl? Actually, this girl happened to have a very high IQ. But when reporters asked for interviews, she declined. "I just got lucky," she said. When people praised her intelligence, she shifted uncomfortably. "It is not a big deal," she replied. She turned down invitations to academic panels, declined offers to mentor young students, and refused to share her process, insisting, "I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm not qualified." When professors and thought leaders reached out, she froze. Why would they want to talk to me? She wondered. She assumed they were just being polite. She felt like a fraud. Like any moment someone will realize she wasn't special. Despite her natural ability, she avoided the spotlight and the conversation that might have challenged her to grow. When asked to compete in international logic tournaments or contribute to think tanks, she said, "I'm not ready. I'm sure there's someone better." Well, the world moved on. New viral minds came and went. The girl, still solving puzzles in notebooks at home, faded into the background. Not because she lacked talent, but because she never allowed herself to own it. Years later, watching a talk by a younger thinker solving problems she had once tackled alone in silence, she felt a pang, not of jealousy, but of realization. That could have been me. She had mistaken humility for virtue and confidence for arrogance. But ego isn't always loud or boastful. Sometimes it's simply the voice that says you belong in the room, you have something to offer, speak. And in never listening to that voice, she hadn't protected herself from failure. She had protected herself from growth. Lack of ego, when mistaken for humility, can be just as limiting arrogance, and how confidence, even if imperfect, is often what pushes people forward. I hope you understand these two stories. In summary, the boy failed because of his ego. The girl also failed because of her lack of ego. What is ego then? Ego refers to a person's sense of self-esteem, self-importance, and self-worth. It is your perception of yourself, your abilities, and your place in this world. Ego is often misunderstood, portrayed either as a toxic force that leads to arrogance and downfall, or as something to suppress entirely in the name of humility. But in truth, ego is neither inherently good nor bad. It is a tool, a sense of self-worth and identity. And like any tool, its value depends on how it's used. From the first scenario, we see how an unchecked ego, inflated by attention, untempered by discipline, can lead to overconfidence, resistance to growth, and eventual failure. It teaches us that ego without self-awareness becomes delusion. It stops listening and stops learning. From the second scenario, we learn that too little ego and an unwillingness to believe in one's own value can cause missed opportunities, theft, growth and a quiet retreat from one's potential. It shows us that humility without self-belief becomes self-erasure. So the balanced approach is this: let ego give you permission to show up, believe you have something to offer, step into rooms where you feel underqualified, accept praises without apology. But let humility keep you teachable. Know there is always more to learn. Respect those with experience. Stay curious, not defensive. Use ego to fuel ambition. Let it push you to work harder. Take risks and speak up. It can be that voice that says, "Why not me?" But don't let it blind you to reality. Ego should not prevent you from seeing your flaws, receiving critique, or admitting when you are wrong. In short, a healthy ego doesn't shout over others. It lets you speak for yourself. It doesn't assume it knows everything. It believes it can learn anything. When ego is grounded in effort, curiosity, and respect, it becomes not a flaw, but a force. Kindly share to bless others. This is Elucidate Prime. We inspire and promote altruism here.
Elucidate Prime. We inspire and promote altruism here.